What's up, y'all? It's me, Erica. It's Tuesday. Go ahead. I was off yesterday. So she needed another day to herself, Whenever I feel like I haven't completely, when I feel like I haven't been like recharged or whatever. Why would you run that light? It's too early to be making dumb decisions, traffic decisions like that. I don't know, I feel kind of weird today. I feel like real matronly today. Ugh, it's just over it. But anyway, so yeah, so I needed a day yesterday, and so that's what was going on. That's better. You better get your ass out the street, bird. So there's a lot happened over the weekend since Friday. What happened on Friday? Friday over the weekend. I have all my shit together here, but I just want to make sure. Oh, I watched this thing on, did I tell you to go ahead and like and subscribe and comment and let me know that you stopped by? So anyways, what happened yesterday over the weekend? Real Housewives of Potomac came on. Love and Hip Hop came on last night. And then I watched a few documentaries on, I watched the Ted Bundy documentary on Netflix, which was actually really good. I really enjoyed the perspective of the film. I remember when the film was announced. First of all, I thought the film was supposed to go in theaters. I didn't know it was going to be on Netflix. I don't know how I missed that. But people were upset because the victims, the families of the victims of Ted Bundy, you should not make movies about a serial killer from a romantic perspective, from a perspective of like this sexy person. Or the fact is that a lot of serial killers have a way with women. It's the reason why they're able to get as close as they are to women in order to murder them. But a lot of women fall in love with serial killers. A lot of serial killers have babies after they've been in jail. And the perspective of this film was, I get the victims, and it's so funny because I get the victims, and I have another point after this. I get under the victims, and oh my God, the victims. And, this was a perspective. The film was a perspective. I think it's called Extremely Wicked and Completely Vile or some shit like that. But it was a perspective of his fiance and how he was getting in all this trouble, and she was always by his side, and he kept telling her, this is not me, I didn't do these things. He kept escaping. It was showing all of these things, but it was from the perspective of him, Ted Bundy, played by Zac Efron, who looked like him. I just didn't see. The critique that I had of him, the only thing that I had, because I must have missed it, I don't know where I went, but the image of Ted Bundy, I felt that they needed Zac Efron with a beard, and apparently he was, because somebody showed it online, and I was like, I didn't see any pictures of him, because that was my only critique. Like, I was like, everything was great, he did great. I just wonder why didn't I get to see Zac Efron with a beard? Like, because with a beard, he really looked like Ted Bundy a lot. And I know that we are on our, like I said, a lot of our shit is performative, but Ted Bundy during that time was handsome to women, and so people would be coming up to the the courthouse the same way they do R. Kelly, the same way. It's always a specific group of women who see past the murder, see past the the rape and the child abuse, and some people do that. But when the movie first came out, everybody was so concerned with the victims. Why are you portraying this serial killer in a good light? Why are you making jokes? Why is the music to the movie kind of a jovial type of music? Because that was the perspective. The perspective wasn't supposed to be dark. It was supposed to show that this man was capable of killing women and still maintain this relationship with this woman and a child. and that she had a child as well. So it was like, you know, and I really want to know where that girl is. I think I've seen one picture, but I don't know. Anyways, so, you know, a lot of people were concerned with the victims and this and that. But ironically, Chris Brown had a birthday this weekend, and everybody was sharing pictures of Rihanna to remind Chris Brown what he did to her. And I thought that was odd, because I figure, like, what happened with them, a lot of people will not forgive Chris Brown, because he does have a pattern of behavior, and nobody is going to, you know, of irrational, aggressive, sometimes violent behavior. He's been accused of violent things, you know, a lot of, you know, things he's been, you know, Karrueche has a restraining order against him. He has all these horrible things. What happened with him and Rihanna, they were 19, 20, and 20, between 19 and 21 years old. And for 10 years, he turned 30. For 10 years, every year on his birthday, everyone reminds him of the worst, probably the worst mistake he will ever make in his whole life. And that's putting his hands and biting that girl when she bit him or something. They were in a fight. And I was like, okay, so y'all care about the victims so much. Why do you keep sharing pictures of Rihanna? Why do you keep sharing pictures of her? Because every year you remind Chris Brown that he physically abused Rihanna. Every year you remind her of her traumatic experience. So do you care about the victim, or you're more concerned with, you know, dragging the abuser every May? It's like an anniversary for y'all. Like, people want to drag. Okay, I get it. Remind him. You don't ever want him to forget what he did. Great. But in sharing her picture, that's trash. That's whack. Because she was a victim. That was a traumatic experience for her, I'm sure. And for y'all to be like, okay, and then like T made a point yesterday. That was a photo of an image that was leaked. I remember it was TMZ that leaked that photograph. And it was a big deal. But now you guys are sharing this picture every May. Every time he does something, you guys got to remind him with a picture of Rihanna. And it's like, I don't think that's cool. I don't think it's cool at all. I'm like, okay. And then Iggy Azalea, she had a video come out this weekend, and everybody's like, okay, what are your thoughts and feelings? First of all, she should be ignored. Like, Iggy Azalea is trash. She's not dope. She's trash. She's phony. She's a fake. I will never, ever support anyone who says that they're a runaway slave master. So she has said that, and like somebody else said, that's the only video that I will share of hers, that I will forever share of hers. Anybody knows why we don't fuck with Iggy Azalea, besides the fact that she took Azalea Banks' name, besides the fact that T.I. cared more about her and was trying to defend her against Azalea Banks and calling Azalea Banks all kind of shit and sticking up for that white woman. Besides all of that, the girl is trash. From the farm towns of Australia, you wanted to be a rapper, and yet and still there's no video of you anywhere at any competition, no video of your mom taking of you rapping, nothing. You didn't want to be a rapper. You didn't want to be you're pulling the let me give them a stripper rapper formula kind of thing. She didn't change her whole body. She didn't went out and got this butt. It's just a mess. But Iggy Azalea is trash. She's always going to be trash to me. And her video, they did a good job on the video. The video is actually really visually pleasing, but I could watch it without the sound, to be honest. To be perfectly honest, I can watch it without the sound. My roots are growing on my plant so well. Remember the plant that I took to work? It's back at home because I need to not have soil at work. The man was telling me. He was like, you could put your plants in water and you can have your succulents, but all this soil is going to attract the bugs, apparently. But I guess for people who don't really know how to water, and maybe water too much, and then they attract those bugs and stuff like that. So he was like, you can't have it. He was like, and I said, well, what if I put it in water? And he was like, but it's kind of weird. I guess it's a new, because the old building that we were in, we had plants. I mean, we had plants all over the place. I mean, which is why I took the plant home for the girl, because her plant was dying. That's how I got the fucking plant in the first fucking place. So he was like, and so I was like, well, I can grow a plant in water. And he was like, oh, okay. So he's like, you can bring the water as long as there's no soil, because the soil attracts gnats. So I think I'm just going to get me some succulents, which, you know, they hold a lot of water anyways, and you don't have to water them a lot, and you can propagate succulents in water too. What else is going on? I watched this documentary called The Circus on Netflix, which is very interesting. It's about Barnum and Bailey and Ringling Brothers and how they started. And I need to watch the second part, the end, or the close to the middle, the end of the second part. It's very, very interesting, very, very interesting. But what I did not know is that P.T. Barnum started his circus act, and his, you know, inception of his circus was using an old black woman. Yes, a black woman. His first attraction was an elder black woman that he bought for $1,000, and then he said that she was George Washington's wet nurse, and she was 160 years old. It was a lie. She wasn't that old, but she was an elderly black woman. But I find it ironic that the circus business started with a black woman being the main attraction. I was like, oh, okay, that's where you got your start, P.T. Barnum. Okay. It's very interesting how you could see, like, it's really American history, the circus, and how it came about, and how they dealt with racism, and how it's really interesting. It's on Netflix. It's simply called The Circus, and it is really good. And I'm glad that they were honest about how he got his start, because they could have made some other shit up. I guess you can't really make up too many things once they've been documented. But honey, they got slaves classified as traveling immigrants or whatever the fuck, or traveling immigrants who came to help build America, instead of calling them slaves. So honey, they can start changing shit. But I'm surprised, and I am actually appreciative that they were honest about how he got his start in the circus business, using a black woman. And then he sold tickets when she died, sold tickets to see her autopsy. Like, it's always something. But yeah, so Real Housewives, Love and Hip Hop New York was good last night. Carly Red, they're at the cabin. I would not take advice from Kirk and Rashida. They would not be. I don't know why. I just wouldn't take it from them. Rashida said that there was infidelity on both sides at the beginning of the relationship, which is probably true. It didn't seem like the way that they presented it didn't seem like it was an authentic story. It just seemed kind of fake because of the way that Kirk was kind of smiling like this is fake, but you know, I just felt like that shit was fake. I felt like it could be true. Like, it could be true that she cheated on him at the beginning of their relationship. I don't know why she wouldn't say anything, and that could be the reason why, you know, like, I always have a theory, like, when something, like, bad happens in a relationship and the man is cheating and the woman kind of stays, I feel like she probably has done some dirt too, and that's the reason why I've done some shit too, so, you know, and I asked him to forgive me, and here I am acting a fool. I really feel like that's the reason why Rashida didn't act a fool, but the way that they presented it, it seemed like it was a fake story, only kind of maybe a story to created to take kind of the foot off of Kirk's neck and kind of make them both accountable for the things that they've done. So I don't know. That didn't seem authentic to me. Carly's boyfriend showed up. Shekinah was like, hold up, like, you're not gonna just walk up in here. And the way that Shekinah was like, it felt like they knew that he was coming up there. Maybe Carly called him up there to reconcile. She got him up there, started acting a fool. Carly is one that's really gonna do anything for cameras. Like, I see next week that she's really acting a fool, still acting a fool, hollering and screaming at people, being inconsiderate to Jock's girlfriend, which I think is trash, you know. And like, and I you know, I'm with Mimi. Like, Carly, if Carly actually did something with Pooh, I don't think that she would lie about it. I think that she would be like, yeah, I did do something with her or whatever. But the way that she is so she gets really upset about it, like, I did not do anything with her. I feel like she's telling the truth. I don't know. I'm gonna get me some coffee. I just don't want McDonald's coffee. Maybe I'll get one of their little McCafe drinks, something with a bunch of sugar in it, because I'm whatever. I don't know. What time is it? I'm already late. Let's see. Yeah, I'll make it. So let's see. Yeah, she was in there acting a fool. I was like, you're whack. You are so Carly, yeah, she's acting a fool. Jock and his girlfriend, I don't know, something about her, I don't know, but when he was trying to explain, like, when they were saying, okay, well, Carly was with him last year and they've been together 2 years, and the way that Jock explained it to her, I was like, the timeline still don't match up, bitch. Why are you okay now? Like, I didn't get that. I was like, the timeline is still off. Why is she, like, I don't know, seceding? I don't know, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And why she would say that to her, to me, I felt like Carly should have, her and Jock are friends. Like, they're friendly. I don't think there's any bad blood between them. But if anything, I would have gone back to him and said, listen, your girlfriend is saying y'all been together 2 years, and you know, you and I both know that we was together a year ago. You need to come clean to her. I don't think it's really Carly's place. I understand the woman thing. Like, okay, I'm gonna tell you, girl, he's lying to you, but you're about to be in a closed environment with this woman. I think probably you shouldn't have said it, but she's there to cause the drama and to stir up some shit. So Carly does a perfect job. Her old ass is exactly doing what she has been hired to do. That's why she was acting a fool at the damn door with that guy going outside, and he's looking like, girl, he looks like he's like, I'm not with this shit. Like, you doing the most. Like, Carly is doing the most. I'm just like, girl, that shit is dumb. All that hollering and screaming. And first of all, it doesn't even call for it. Where you just start hollering and screaming out the blue, like, what the fuck? It doesn't even go with your behavior. It's out of context. Your behavior is out of fucking context. What else? Step on. Let's see. What else happened on Love and Hip Hop? What's the girl's name? Tokyo Vanity and Moniece are supposed to be working together, and Akbar V is upset about it. I don't know. She has issues where she always has headaches, but at the same time, she's not communicating with this girl when she can't make it to the studio sessions, which is putting, she's spending money, she's doing all these things, and you're not showing up, you're not calling, and I don't know why you expect somebody to work with you. People are understanding too. Like, seems like Moniece is understanding. You're trying to do the mother thing again. You have these bullet fragments in your head that cause you to have a headache all the time. But when it's time to come to the studio, you don't call and you just don't show up. And then when you finally show up, you say you had a headache. So I'm thinking, like, from the time that you decided that you weren't going to get up and go to the studio, why you just didn't call Moniece and say, hey girl, I'm having a really bad headache. whatever. Can we meet up in about an hour? It's going to take me like an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. I just need to take a nap. Whatever the thing that you need to do for the headache to go away. So whatever. But she's upset because she's working with, I guess, another big girl, and she's mad about it. And Tokyo Vanity is saying, you have a plaque and I have a plaque, and I have this, and she can't say nothing to me. Now all of a sudden y'all mad at each other. So next week they get into a fight. Who else? BK and his girlfriend. She says she's cheated. He looked like he's crying. I don't understand why these men can stick their whole penis and testicles inside of another woman. But as soon as, like somebody said on Twitter, as soon as we put a smidge of dick in our mouths, y'all niggas want to break down and cry. Your life is over, you know. And that all comes from the idea of ownership. As soon as, you know, it's funny because a man has, we enter you, so you belong to, like that fake ass shit is so fake. But for him to like break down and start crying, she was crying too, but for him to break down and start crying, you should be like, well, what am I gonna do? You cheating, you doing inappropriate things, you out of order. Now she cheats. It's a different story. It's a problem. You don't want nothing to do with her. You want to kill her. You want to push her on some railroad tracks. You want to, you know, pour acid in her face, and, you know, all these things that men are not emotional. Based on how, when they get rejected, how they react is all emotional responses. Here's BK crying. His face is in his hand. He's crying. What are you crying about? She told you she cheated on you. I mean, I guess it hurts. I guess you see what it feels like. But I don't understand why you think that somebody is not. That's the problem that I like. You really think you the only one out here doing what you doing? Do you know it's just as many bitches as it is? It's as many niggas as it is bitches. And niggas are okay with being side niggas. Hello? Okay? So a woman can have a side nigga forever, and you will never hear from him. You will never. That's why I said, that's why I be like, Beyonce got a side nigga. That's why she was just like, whatever, nigga. I'm not about, let Solange do what she do. And it's so funny how somebody tied in the Solange thing. Everybody's celebrating Solange whooping Jay-Z, but when it's time to talk about Chris Brown and Rihanna, it's a different story. And I'm like, what about the nigga that knocked his girl out in? That's all abuse. I mean, Solange, you know, all jokes aside, if he wanted to press charges, Solange could have been charged with aggravated assault. If you really want to break the shit down, you know what I'm saying? What she was doing was assaulting him, and he was trying to defend himself. That's exactly what she was doing. And I know everybody is like, you know, the man got caught cheating, your sister is protecting you. That looks admirable, but at the end of the day, what she was doing was against whatever the law is. You know, they'll make it right or whatever, but tying that in with Chris Brown, you know, y'all want to beat down Chris Brown. Why not? Why you don't beat down the woman when she's whooping on somebody? That was the, you know, the double standard argument that was floating around online the other day. But anyways, BK is upset because Sierra, they went around saying, you know, what's good and what's bad about that relationship. It was cute. Okay, so Real Housewives, I mean, it wasn't cute, but it was cute, meaning like it was just whatever. I mean, it was whatever. It was an okay episode. Carly's doing the most, and that's what it is. But Real Housewives of Potomac came on last night. So let's go through the women. Their intros were... Robin's intro was trash. Ashley's intro was trash. The only intro that I kind of liked was Giselle's, which was actually a change, because Giselle, the people say Giselle is a Virgo. She gives Virgos a bad... I don't know what it is about... She must be... I don't know what it is about her. I just can't stand her. But she's funny at the same time, but she's just... I don't know about Giselle. Ashley is delusional, clearly. She's on this man on his lap, and she's faking like she's really into having sex with this old... You young as fuck having sex with this old ass white man. I know his skin is dry as fuck. I know he don't put a lick of lotion on, none at all. and you sitting up here straddled him, trying to put whipped cream on your chest, trying to have a baby with this old ass man who keeps getting in trouble. He's been on Jacked or Grindr or whatever the hell, and then he's also has been accused of sexual assault. Well, I guess one of the cameramen, he grabbed one of their ass, I guess, and propositioned them or something. That story was out a long time ago. But Ashley is making it seem like her and her husband are in this good place, and they're trying to have a baby. It's just like, it's very much in denial. But Ashley, and it's funny because Ashley and Candace are actually experiencing the same thing. Ashley won't let go of Michael because he is financially supportive of her, and she doesn't make any money anywhere else outside of something that's attached to this white man. And Candace is attached to her mother, and she feels like she's in debt to her mother because her mother has done all these things for her, and she's financially attached to her mother. As soon as Candace tells her mother that she doesn't need her money anymore or look to her mother to fund anything, she will finally be free, because her mother, on top of holding on to 30 years of pain and resentment with this man, her husband cheated on her, she's holding it against him. At the beginning of the episode, she makes a suggestion or makes a face because she doesn't want him to sit in the front row. What are you talking about? That's the father of the bride. If you're doing a traditional wedding, the parents sit in the front. Why would you want because you're pissed off at him for cheating on you and producing another child, granted, 30 years ago. You got to be over it by now, girl. You have to be okay with it now. I mean, like, and so Candace has created a relationship with her father's illegitimate son, and the mother is upset and saying, what are you doing? Like, the mother really showed her true self. She showed her ass on the first episode. She was really, really upset, and she's holding that girl hostage like that. But the girl needs money, and she's okay with accepting money. So I guess she's getting to a point where now she's like, okay, well, I would really like my mom to financially support me, but I don't like how she's being completely controlling. But from the beginning, everybody was able to tell that Candace's mother was very controlling, just period. And then Candace was going off on her because it's like, this is my wedding, this and that, and the mother is not, she does not care. She's like, she just doesn't care. I'm paying money for this thing. You done messed up. Her mother got really mad, and her mother really showed how angry she was. Her mother needs to be in some kind of therapy. She needs to be somewhere where she can let go of that pain, because if it's been 30 years and now your daughter is getting married, and you want your ex-husband, the father of the bride, who she does have a relationship with, she has a relationship with her father. It's not like this man is like, oh, you found your cheating ass father and you want a typical traditional wedding, so no matter what it looks like, you want this raggedy ass nigga to walk you down the aisle. No, she has a relationship with this man. She wants him to walk her down the aisle, and you want the nigga to sit in the second row because you mad about, because he cheated on you and had a baby 30 years ago. It's time to let that go. It's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. Candace's mom, Dorothy looks, honey, that whole story is, like I said last season, talking about this season, we are going to see the weaning of Candace from her mother this season, and I hope that it's successful. I guess the wedding is going to be next week or in a few weeks. I don't know. It looks like to be nice, but they're in there practicing dances and shit, and I don't know. I was like, okay, that seems to be a lot going on. Sherman and Giselle are in counseling. I don't get it. I don't know. Okay, so you guys have I don't get it. Okay, so if you're in a relationship with somebody, you enter a relationship with somebody, and it starts off rocky, and y'all just boyfriend and girlfriend. Are you going to counseling? I guess so. Like, if you really want to work at the relationship, I'm thinking like, okay, he has problem communicating real simple things, and you have a problem with that now. I always remember, like, I remember people saying, like, whatever you think is is a problem now, it's going to be times 10 when you get married. Like, the problem doesn't go away with once you say I do. And this idea that, you know, this romantic idea of, you know, things getting washed away after the wedding, that doesn't, now you're in debt, now you have all this extra shit on top of the problems that you had prior to getting married. Now you have debt on top of that because you didn't put yourselves in debt trying to get married. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so what else happened? Ashley and her man trying to figure out Monique. Monique is pregnant with these babies. The man seems like he wants her to have a bunch of babies and to be stuck in the house. And she was like, oh, he's so traditional. Honey, that means that's misogynistic. He wants you to be in the house having a whole bunch of babies and doesn't want you. Where did he get that idea? Did you give him that impression just so you could, you know, get the bag? Is that, you know, because I don't understand. Like, now you want to be this working woman, but you wasn't being a working woman before. Now you want to actually work, and he wants to have, you're pregnant, and he's talking about getting you pregnant while you're pregnant. That shit is, ugh. I was like, ugh, that's so gross. That is so gross to me. That he's really like, we're gonna try for another one. I guess she said if she has a boy, she's done or something. I don't know what she said. Monique is not a favorite of mine. Robin, she is, and her and Juan are actually getting along. She said they fucking like rabbits. I don't know why. Okay, now here's the thing with Juan and Robin. They're doing what works for them, and I think everybody wants them to be married because they don't want Robin to look stupid, but they've already been married. They have 2 kids. Now they're living together, and whatever it is they're doing is working for them. Do you not believe that that's what she wants? Like, this idea, it's so weird how we as women believe that Robin wants something more from Juan. Maybe she is fine living with her ex-husband, having a great sex life, and not being married by the state. Like, I don't understand why is that so hard for these women to actually understand. Oh, I forgot all about Karen. Karen and Matt. Karen is still putting on a show. She's always going to put on the show. I thought this being so far into the game that she would have dropped the facade. This Karen Huger is so phony and fake, but it seems like Candace really likes Karen. It seems like Candace sees Karen as a mother figure, and like Candace said, she wants a mother to be her BFF. And like when she was crying and her mother, everything that's happening with Candace and the way that her and her mother relate to each other, it reminds me a lot of me and my mother. It reminds me a lot of me and my mother. I'm looking at her mother like, oh, you really showed your ass. Cause before she wasn't really acting a fool. But when she mentioned that she was inviting her sons, her brother, her dad's son, her brother to her wedding, and she got upset. Why would you bring that into our family? Her mother is embarrassed that she got cheated on and her husband created another baby. So a part of that embarrassment, a part of what you're embarrassed about, your parents will feed you that shame and teach you how to be ashamed of things that you shouldn't be ashamed of. There's no reason why Candace should be ashamed that her father had another baby with another woman. Her mother should be. If her mother wants to be ashamed about it, then she could be ashamed about it. But other than that, why would Candace have to hold on to that? And that's what Candace is like, I don't need to hold on to that. I'm not trying to hold on to that. You need to let it go. When Candace was crying and walked away, her mother said something about her tears and was looking like she was fine with how she behaved in that moment. She didn't apologize. She didn't say, I'm sorry. You got to understand where I'm coming from. She didn't ask for understanding. Like I said to a few people who do not understand why I'm estranged from both of my parents. Black baby boomer parents do not parent from a place of humility. I believe in order to be a good parent, one thing that you need is to be humble and to have some humility. Be ready to apologize. Don't believe that all of your actions are absolute and that's the end of what I gotta say. And I'm big, you're small, I'm smart, you're dumb, I'm right, you're wrong. That shit is out of here, and nobody is putting up with no shit like that. So at the end of the day, Candace is like, I don't have to deal with none of this stuff that you're asking me to deal with. It's a lot of other stuff that I wanted to talk about coming up on Candace and them. I guess we could still talk. Let me get to this. Let me get to the part. Pornhub is buying Tumblr. Let's see. Yeah, I'm like, oh, your mom is a trip. But her mom feels like, oh, I pay whatever. I can like, you're a slave. You're a slave. If I pay for anything, I can treat you, talk to you any kind of way, but I'll make it seem like, oh my God, I do so much for my daughter. She's so great. I do so much for her. But in person, you are a whole nother beast. A whole nother beast, honey. Let me see. All right, let me see. I think that's it for Karen and her assistant. Matt looks like he's on dope. He looks like he had finished doing I don't know how many rails in the bathroom. He looked like he is out of control. I don't know why Giselle came over there with them cookies. You're not coming over nobody's house unannounced, especially far away. What are you doing? Why did you think that you would be invited to that? Why did you think that it would be okay? Like, I don't know. That's why I don't particularly care for Giselle. I don't care for Karen either. I'm trying to figure out who I like and the other girl is back. What's the girl from the first season? She's back. You can't disrespect people and expect them to want to be and talk to you. Don't matter. Like, her mother is out of control. That's the first thing that they show with Candace and her mother. Her mother suggesting that her father sit in the second row. I was like, oh, okay, bitch. Jared Leto looked nice. Lady Gaga looked nice. Lupita Nyong'o looked nice. I would think Gabrielle Union's husband would take more of a risk than he did, being that it is the Met Gala. The theme was campy. Anyways, but yeah, everybody. Nicki Minaj, I didn't really care for her outfit. Well, I don't think a lot of people understood what campy meant. It's just probably a opportunity to. Oh, goodness. I was about to take that light. Let's see. What else on Real Housewives of Potomac? What else happened? Candace's mother wants an ex-husband to sit in the next row. I'm sure they're not forcing each other to have sex. And what happens after they go ahead and do what everyone else thinks they should do? Then what? After Robin and Juan go ahead and get married, what? Then what? Okay, so Juan and Robin are divorced, still together, still having sex, and when he feels like it, so nothing has changed. So where did you get the idea that it's only when he feels like it? I don't understand this thing where, Robin is of a certain age. I'm sure she wants to have sex a lot. So I'm sure what he wants, she probably wants it too. So whatever. Ashley is clearly in denial. She hasn't been on the screen for more than 3 minutes with this whipped cream and this old ass white man. And I know his skin feels like the back of an alligator. Go sit down. I'm reading my tweets. Karen said that she's going to, Karen, yeah, she's still putting on a show. Her and Michael's assistant is still in quotes. Karen's accent hasn't changed or has changed. She's talking like a Kardashian. I don't know what's wrong with her. She didn't talk like that before. You are from a farm girl Huger. She's trash too. That's the one thing. These are Nate's girls. He likes every last one of them. But I'm watching this season. I do because I really want to watch what's going to go on with Candace and her mother. Monique hollered at her kids, which I thought it was a real moment. She hollered at her kids. He's so traditional. I put coughs, misogynistic. We all knew Monique was doing too much last season. Your wife is the messy one. Oh yeah, he was trying to put that. He was, you hanging around with them messy women. You hanging around. No, nigga, your wife is the messiest bitch. She's the one who sits at home all day with nothing else to do. She's the messy bitch, okay? Don't act like all these bitches are so messy. Your wife is messy too, nigga. Your wife is messy too. Juan was giving Robin a massage. Yeah, so Candace sees Karen as a mother type, which They seem to get along, but I only think that Karen is fucking with Candace because Candace really doesn't know her, but she is probably her mother's age. She is older than a lot older than Candace. She's saying that there's no boundaries in their relationship, which probably is good because you have that mothering figure without all that mothering, controlling, codependent helicopter bullshit. So that's what she's getting out of Karen. Like, you're getting, like she said, she wanted her mom to be her best friend. There's a lot of girls who want their mothers, as you become adults, to stop fucking trying to be a fucking mother. That shit is out of here. You're dealing with another adult woman. Relate to her as an adult woman, not as a child. You need to stop relating to your adult children like they're children who can't speak for themselves, who have to depend on you and what you have to say and go by what you say. They don't have to listen to you once they get a certain age. I don't understand why motherfuckers don't understand that. They can't grasp that. They don't have to do I can't see shit. They don't have to do anything they don't want to do. See, I'm glad I didn't go. But anyways, that's my time, y'all. I'm out of here. What else? She's embarrassed, which encourages shame. Her mother was getting beside herself. Candace needs to let her mother go. She's holding on to all of that and holding Candace hostage, making Candace feel bad. I do not like Dorothy. I catch her looking at Candace like she doesn't like her. I did catch her looking at Candace. Maybe that's just her look, because she was looking at Candace like she don't fuck with her. And it could be that. That's the only thing she can control. I said, after Candace said, I only get married once, her mother flipped her hair so hard. Her mother needs someone to talk to about that pain. She's been holding on to that so long her jaws are hanging. The jaws of life. Anyways, y'all, that's my time. You guys have a wonderful day. Get down in the comments. We'll talk. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Peace.